Welcome back, OPL fans, for our second set of tonight. It's going to be Chiefs that take on Tainted Minds. I'm still Matthew Fishtua, and joining me is still T-Gun and Raz to take us through the analysis desk, or what I like to call the Baron throw desk for today. But, you know, before we go into the analysis of who's going to throw at Baron today, let's go through the lineups of both these teams. First up, it's going to be Chiefs. Up in the top lane, it's going to be Swiper. Spooks will be in the jungle. Swiffer we take it to the mid lane as Radiant and Ejim will be the AD carry and support. They're up against their sister team here tonight, which will be Tainted Minds. Up in the top lane for Tainted Minds, it's going to be Prey there, followed by Zahi in the jungle. Omni we taking to the mid lane. It's Lost and Rosie we trying to battle out in the bottom lane. Guys, before we break these two teams down, I really want to take, once again, a look at the run they both have leading into the next few games. Just like Sin and Avant, they've got two interesting games that they need to play up here. So Chiefs, first up, they're going to be playing Sin and Avant as well. So, you know, two teams playing, they're going to be playing against each other. They're looking to secure that top 4 spot. They're still there. A win here is a must win for them to stay there.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I expect them to win. It's still Chiefs. They're still amazing, right? They had a couple bad games, but they're still just this amazing team that no one expects to drop anywhere below, honestly, 3rd, right? So seeing them outside the top 4, which is where they'd be if they started losing more games, inconceivable to me.
Yeah, and just to pretty much talk about it too, because I think that the Chiefs had a tough time against Avant last time they played, and now that Avant is looking much better in their early game, right? And just kind of like a lot better macro, I think like this is not an easy run for them, like especially against Sin as well.
Yeah.
Well, then we take a look at the other side of the rift, Tainted Minds. They've got the similar run. They've got to play Sin and Avant as well in their next 2 games, and they're looking to push into the top 4. I believe they're currently sitting 3 and 4, so they're just below you guys at the moment in terms of standings, and they've got 1 game in hand to play, which is this match against the Chiefs today. They're looking to push through, and as a team coming from the OCS, just like you guys, they're looking impressive as well.
Yeah. I hope they win. It's good for us if they win, right? Because we have head-to-head to this, and so I really hope they win, but I just don't see it happening. They have a very one-dimensional playstyle through their bot lane. Doesn't seem like they can carry through mid or top, which is a meta right now. I don't know. Like I said, I hope they win. I really, really do, but I don't see it happening, Raz.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I think at the very least, the biggest thing you can point out is the fact that they have an actual play style that they have on their team that like Chiefs kind of do everything, and it kind of bites them a little bit. Especially like the last time I saw them play towards their bot side, which was the Twitch composition that just kind of like died. I think that might be something that they have an edge on, that they at least have a defined play style that they go to.
Well, one thing I really want to touch on first off is Chiefs' recent performance. They've dropped their last 3 games in the OPL, so it's probably one of their longest loss streaks in the OPL, to be honest. They haven't been looking all that great recently.
Yeah, that's one for the stats guys to know. Is it their longest? I don't know. I'm happy to be one of those wins. I'm going to be honest. I take a lot of pride in that. We did well. Take pride in that. They're going to come back from it. And you got to look at this as their revenge game, right? They need to come back with a vengeance, look really, really strong. And I know you're probably hoping they win, right? You used to be part of them. So surely you've got some Homer attitude, right? Come on now.
Nah, I want them to keep losing.
They
gotta learn their lesson. You gotta keep.
What lesson?
I don't.
Put them in their place.
I gotta just put them in their place. And every time, like honestly, every set that we see them play, it's like this has got to be their revenge game. This has got to be the game that they take, right? And then they lose to it. And so, who knows?
Yeah, but they have to play us.
Oh, there we go.
Well, you know, they're playing up against a sister team today, so if there's any team that can put them into place, it could be Tainted Minds. They've got some, you know, friendly rivalry going on here because Tainted Minds used to be the sister team coming in from the OCS, now rebranding into Tainted Minds. You think this is going to be a factor coming to this game?
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously something to prove, right? You always want to be like, oh, you should have kept us. I mean, they're not going to do that, obviously. But you got a point to prove. But you can't let that influence your play. You got to go in fresh and just sort of work out what you're trying to do.
Well, first off, I want to get the predictions there, but I kind of already know what's going to happen here. So I believe, Raz, you're the only one that hasn't really said anything. Is it going to be Chiefs that win? Because I know T-Gun thinks that Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, I mean, if I go for Tainted Minds, it just feels like I'm just trying to gamble a little bit too much. It's got to be Chiefs, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
Like they've looked shaky, but I don't think they're shaky enough to lose to Tainted Minds when they have such a one-dimensional play style.
Well, let's see if they can take the game here. Both these two teams are fighting for a spot at the OPL Finals, which you guys at home can buy tickets to watch it live in Brisbane. Head over to the website that's on your screens. If you can't make it to Brisbane for the Grand Finals, you can also check out our friends at Hoyts for tickets there too, and check out if a viewing party is close to you that you can attend for the OPL Finals. For now, though, we're going to throw it over to a video of, as Rosie told talks about his experience in Tainted Minds from the OCS to the OPL.
My initial reasoning for leaving Sin was that I wanted to actually do something with like my real life, with my studies and stuff. So I left Sin because I didn't think that I'd be able to commit with them, and I didn't want to like hold them back. And I went to Chiefs as a sub just because I still felt they were my family. Sangi decided that he wanted to make a challenger team, and I was like, yeah, sure, like I'll do it for a bit of fun. So starting off the team, we were playing in the OCS. And we're only a team for about 2 weeks going into it, so we're pretty clueless of what we're doing as a team. So our main priority was everyone just picking the champions that they felt comfortable, which are pretty notably like Bard, Lucian, which we still play now. And yeah, we kind of made our play style around that, and somehow it worked through the whole OCS. Communication can be a big issue, especially with our mid laner being French. Can struggle to speak sometimes because he has to think about what he's saying. But sometimes we just don't hear anything from our mid laner. We troll Omni quite a bit about LeBlanc because it's probably his favourite champion, and it also just happens to be French, so it just goes hand in hand, I guess. So I've been playing League for a long time now, and there's a few times where I've actually thought about just quitting it all, and somehow I managed to always come back to it because it's just always there. So even if I try to quit, I'm like, oh, there's this League client at the bottom of my screen, so I click on it, play a few games, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm just stuck back into it.
Thank you very much, Rosie. And look, I like the fact that he keeps getting sucked back into League because I love watching him play Zara support over and over again. And it's interesting hearing about Omni. I didn't know he was French.
Yeah, New Caledonia, I believe he's from. So Omni, definitely a French speaker of the team. Could cause a couple of issues, as Rosie mentioned, but of course, I don't believe he's the shot caller. You'd be looking at Zahi to carry out the ranks in that respect.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing him potentially play some Fiora mid lane as well, because of course another French champion. We'll see whether that comes down. I don't think that speaking language is exactly how you play style though. As we hop into champion select, thankfully saving us from that weird rant that was going on. We'll see exactly what Chiefs ban away first. It's Bard, taken away from Rosie, of course, their former teammate. Not going to get any of his favourite champions.
Now, Bard taken off the board makes a lot of sense, as does the following ban. Definitely targeted from both of these teams, and that's not a surprise. As mentioned a couple of times on the analyst desk, the former sister team, now Tainted Minds branded red side of the Rift, does have to get rid of a couple specifics though.
Yeah, exactly right. Zahi's Elise is going to follow here as well as Chiefs with a bit of luxury as far as targeted bans are concerned. We'll see what the Tainted Minds do stick to things like Rise Vladimir, something like that for the last tour, whether they throw the gauntlet, leave a few of these open.
I think it has to be Rise Vladimir. Omni might be able to play Cassiopeia, but it's a risk. And some would say against the Chiefs, all risks are needless risks.
Especially when these are Swiffer champions as well. You just don't want to give that man too much power to solo carry a game, as Azir is going to be banned away. So one of those two will get through.
We've seen him carry on both Vladimir and Rise. The question of priorities there, Vladimir's notably a stronger champion.
Yeah.
Based off all of the ban rates that we see. Rise has slipped through many times, and teams always seem to think that they can best the Rise.
Oh my goodness. Tainted Minds get rid of Shen and decide that the gauntlet has entirely been thrown, as Rise and Vlad both get through.
Well, you'd expect a Vladimir first rotation here from the Chiefs, which means the evident Rise should proceed. Tainted Minds aren't bottlenecked into that, however, unless they're worried that Swiper can play it.
Yeah, or
as well.
Swiper can play Vladimir. I mean, it's very flexible.
Exactly. And so now the onus is on Tainted Minds. They threw that gauntlet. They said, we get rid of the Shen, we get rid of the Azir, two of the really strong targeted champions that the Chiefs can play. A lot of top focus, so I'm expecting something along the lines of the Trundle as a first pick.
Well, Trundle's been banned, so that's not going to be very
that
easy.
Sucks, really.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
The two champions that Swiper has really looked comfortable on are the Trundle and the Alawi of recent times as well. This is a man that we have been looking to find form once more, as it just feels like he hasn't been able to slip into the new meta that is, you know, the Aurelias, the Jax, the things like that that are running around that we've seen, you know, players like Paradise, like Tally do incredibly good things on. But there's the Karma and the Rek'Sai locked away. Power picks here for Tainted Minds and not really showing their hand at all.
Yeah, they don't reveal any strategy. It's sound knowing that the Bard is gone. They look towards the Karma. It's almost an expectation of Tainted Minds bottom lane. They look towards that. As the Rek'Sai is a very similar vein of thought.
Well, Lucian is going to be locked in here as Spooks is going to lock away the Aurelia, so both solo laners out of the Chiefs have been secured, as well as Radier's Lucian as well, two facilitative champions to be picked last, and that is showing their hand pretty aggressively early on here in the draft for the Chiefs.
The thing is, like, it's a Vladimir, so unless they are going Rise into it, trying to match the scaling and damage that they can output, you'd expect something just like the Victor, just because it survives the lane.
Yep.
You've got a shield that works. Karma can also be flexed in the middle lane that we have seen actually internationally as an answer to the Vlad. So perhaps that's what they look towards, and they can still go for a support as their... Something that Tainted Minds always do is they last pick that support role.
Precisely.
Would not be shocking to see that, as this next rotation may even, in part, reveal what they want to do.
Well, currently, the Yasuo being hovered. We'll see whether Omni actually does pick that one, as now you can see Lost looking to make some sort of 80 carry choice. There's the Cassiopeia, and there's Praedyth's original coveted Fiora pick.
That's right, he's going to bring back his best champion. Everyone knows that it's his best champion, but very rarely see it from him.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure to watch.
Actually saw a few bans of that champion as well when he first came onto the Tainted Minds roster as soon as he turned 17.
Definitely did. And as far as team composition is concerned, we know that it's not a Karma mid lane, it's a Cassiopeia, which is the kill threat counter, whereas a Karma is the diffusal lane.
Yep.
And that Zahi is not ultimately necessary anymore to put down pressure. Only the AD carry missing, knowing that it's a Lucian. You're going to see their hand revealed from the Chiefs now in that support position.
Well, it is going to be Gragas in answer to Zahi's Rek'Sai. I've been waiting for Spooks to start picking this one up as well, as Ejim back onto a champion that he's been known for internationally as well on that Thresh. And Rogue had a brilliant game on the champion as well, and we'll see whether he can have a performance similar.
That's right, not bringing out the Alistar, but Thresh, the other more meta-friendly support that Ejim is renowned for. And the Chiefs finish off their entire team composition. They have a hyper carry top lane, hard carry mid lane, and generally just look super strong as a team composition.
Yeah, the wife still bottom lane there as well. Of course, Lucian and Thresh has always been powerful. Has lost. Thinking about what he wants to carry on. Could go for the Sivir here. Twitch currently being hovered. We'll see what they decide to make up their minds on, as they do play around him a lot, and that's going to be the Ezreal. So very safe on the bottom side of the map here for Tainted Minds.
A lot of champions got hovered, but it felt like it was always going towards the Ezreal anyway. If you look at what he's against, I would imagine he definitely needs some kind of kite. Got to get away from a Vladimir with a Ghost and an Aurelia running at you.
Yeah, good luck.
That's not an easy thing to do, but thankfully he has the Karma to back him up. And it actually comes down to how Tainted Minds draw the line with their team composition around the Cassiopeia in particular.
Yeah.
It's very much a, if they extend too far, we get the ult off, and then we turn the fight back around. Otherwise, they just run the heck away, utilizing that Karma.
Is the danger here from Tainted Minds, though, the fact that they have this Fiora Cassiopeia comp, and it looks like this is going to revolve around the top and mid lane a whole lot here for this team just based on those picks?
The danger is they have no engage. I mean, it's a flash Rek'Sai. So really, yeah, what they want is the Chiefs to run at them. Tainted Minds look like they're set up best to succeed when actually kiting backwards, utilizing their team composition the best way that they possibly can.
Yeah, and we'll see whether it's going to come around Praedyth here as well, who wants to be in that split push, wants to be able to pressure out Swiper. We want to hear from you if you think that the Chiefs are going to be able to find their way back onto the road to success, especially with a huge Vladimir there in the mid lane. Use that hashtag CHF win. Give them all of your power. Or you think that the former sister team in Tainted Minds is going to be able to take them down, much like Abyss recently did. Use that hashtag TMWin and get behind them as well, because look, this could be one of the longest Chiefs losing streaks that we've seen in a very long time. The Des mentioned it. It is definitely true.
Yeah, I think with this series, if they go down at 4 in a row, and that would actually be the longest that we've seen from the Chiefs. Moving into this first game, it is about bouncing back. It is definitely about redemption. The Chiefs struggling is one way to describe them right now.
Yeah, most certainly is. They have picked themselves really strong lanes here in this game as well, really wanting to make a mark early on. We'll see whether they are able to grab some standard lanes here as well, because, of course, in my limited analytical prowess, I think that Aurelia does not like a lane swap.
Hey, you had a career as a color caster once.
It was not good, Rusty. There is a reason why that discontinued.
Yeah, I think both of those
Stop
top
bringing that up, my God.
It's fun. Both
You guys can find the VODs. It's pretty entertaining stuff.
No, both top laners, I think they'd be content with 1v1s, but then you draw your attention towards the 2v2 as well. and say, are Tainted Minds okay against the Thresh Lucian, which has a lot of kill threat, and against Radar and Ejim, a renowned duo for winning lane?
Yeah.
I would say the based off Tainted Minds playstyle being a little Chiefs, yeah.
Huh. Well, you can see back coming in here from the Chiefs for the bottom lane. As, no. Okay, they're just going to be cancelling them. They're running around wanting to take some Krugs. Of course, with the Flay doing a bit of AoE, piercing light as well, able to set things up. They're looking pretty comfortable. The Swiper always goes for Aviator Aurelia, and it tilts me because I just hate that skin. Oh. Because there's so many other better ones. Aurelia's got like some of the best skins in the game, but he's just like, oh no, Aviator. That's what we want. It's alright, Swiper. And we'll see whether he can have a carry performance on what is a carry top laner.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, Swiper is a very strong Aurelia player. Stuck to the champion even when it was never meta. And Aurelia received 4 years of consecutive nerfs. he definitely still wanted that champion to be good. If it wasn't Tryndamere, Aurelia will do.
Yep, that's true. Why hasn't he gone back to the Tryndamere? Oh, the dream.
Because he's permanently banned from it by his coaching staff.
Yeah. Much like Ezreal used to be the Radiant.
Yep.
So he's launched back into the meta as Omni. Getting some harassment down onto Swiffer here. He's just comfortably throwing out minion waves. But he's going to miss a couple here underneath the turret. Oh, really cute use.
He'll miss the third, though.
Does get the health back, but doesn't get the last hit with the transfusion. Do like commentating players farming.
Yes, you do.
I do it way too much.
Junglers, again, always a big point of pressure in standard lanes. They're no longer isolated in the middle lane or the top lane.
Ooh, nice. Hook lands onto Lost. Double Flay comes in as well as the exhaust is down onto both AD carries. Lost has to pop the potion. Swiper now in trouble as well on the top side of the map. Gets slowed down by the riposte. Zahi, Equilibrium Strike going to stop him in his tracks. Swiper's going to survive. Flash still intact.
So thankfully for Tainted Minds, the minion wave is pushing towards them in this bottom lane, and they will be okay. Just a lot of health actually expended by Lost, and Radar now has complete control. We already said Tainted Minds, they might want standard lanes. Lost and Rosie, big fans of actually winning it. But winning lane against Radar and Ejim has never really been a conceivable thing. No matter how the team's performing, those two can still lane.
This is, of course, a rematch as well from week number 2, as the Chiefs were able to take down Tainted Minds, but they did have trouble on the bottom side of the map.
Not in game number 1. If memory serves, they were actually like
only
a 5-1
one of the games. Yeah.
Ezreal.
Oh, there's a really nice steal from Spooks. Just gets in there and grabs a lantern home.
Yeah. Invades in the jungle. Of course, Zahi was seen on the top side of the map, so Spooks makes the appropriate rotations. Also has the Thresh to back him up after they won the 2v2 already. Good movements from the jungler.
Swiper getting a bit aggressive here on the top side of the map. Praetor holding on to that riposte. As you can see, Swiper losing out on the trade in the end. The hit and style here early on will give him a bit of added sustain.
Both players in the top lane on comfortable carry champions. Sure, they've met each other a few times in solo queue on these respective champions, and seeing them go head-to-head is always a pleasure. Especially with the high mechanical level required for both of them. Mostly because it's mind games.
Yeah. And is it all about the Equilibrium Strike riposte interaction for both of these champions, or is there more to this matchup?
Not entirely, but that is a big piece of it, especially during laning phase.
See how it goes. The Swiffer is going to get Omni with the Tides of Blood, who's completely out of mana. Spooks was poking his head in, but isn't going to be able to get anything more. As, Swiffer and Spooks have some history with the old Vladimir in the mid lane. Thankfully, it's not a Nunu coming out of the jungle.
I didn't need to bring that one up. They're on a 3-game losing streak.
I always need to bring that one up. I loved that comp.
I think you're the only person on the planet that liked that team composition, Atlas.
Oh, we are going to slow you so much.
We're going to turn into a puddle under your feet. Nothing's going to happen.
It's fantastic. But this time, they got the Gragas. Feeling a whole lot better, and Chiefs in relative control here in the early stages of the game. Each lane doing quite well. The Aurelia now getting it back, picks up a Phage. Trinity Force versus Black Cleaver first potentially here from Praedyth. So a little bit cheaper is Predator's first completed item, but Swiper looking for a big damage boost in that TF.
Yeah, gets the Sheen spike as well, so earlier spikes the Tainted Minds at bottom.
Yeah, and Spooks is in here as well as he exhausts once again onto Lost. Lots of CC available as Ejim. He's done as much as he can. He's going to back away now as well as Spooks down to about 200 health. And Tainted Minds feel like they do have the advantage. That Prey Seeker was very close to killing Ejim, but doesn't do it in the end. It's Radiant still trying to pick up some farm.
Junglers at the exact same place at the exact same time. Not a kill to be seen though on Summoner's Rift, except that Ejim has to recall, meaning the Tainted Minds arguably win that trade through the future pressure that they can then apply onto Radiant. We'll see how it plays out, however. As far as early trades go, it's exactly what we expected to see. Zahi's always bottom. Can't say I expected to see Spooks down there though.
Yeah,
but he
exactly.
was counter-ganking, which is his expertise.
Exactly in the right position here as well. And Spooks does like to know where his opponent is at all times. Prides himself in his jungle pathing, like you just said.
And his shot calling ability.
Yeah, Swift are actually now starting to get a lot of Tides of Blood damage on the Omni here. This Spectre's Cowl, you can actually see the amount of health that it gives you back after each Twin Fang. Pretty must-have as far as an item against this Cassiopeia is concerned. And Spirit Visage, brilliant for Vladimir.
As far as stat fixing goes for the changed Vladimir, the fact that you can still go Spirit Visage and win lanes is absurd to me.
Yeah.
They actually like redesigned his AP scaling so that you need to build AP to do damage, but here we are. Spectre's Cow.
Well, still going to shove this minion wave towards the turret, and we'll see whether he keeps it as a Spectre's Cowl or whether he does finish the Spirit Visage first item. Whether he does go to some of that AP based on the fact that Vladimir has had a little bit of a change.
Yeah, I think we're still traditionally, if you go Spectre's Cow, you may as well commit towards the full item completion. It's not that expensive, and you get cooldown reduction from the other aspects. So if he wasn't, I'd honestly just go Kindle Gem and then go Proto Belt. But we'll see.
Speaking of cooldown reduction, he actually decided to pick up the blue buff here as well. Spooks possibly would have liked that one. The extra AP as well as the extra mana regen. However, Swiffer gets the extra experience, which is important, and cooldown reduction for himself so he can spam out these spells.
There's an unchanged fact that Vladimir is extremely cooldown reliant.
Yeah.
It's known that you can beat him due to his long cooldowns early game. And exploit him, and then he starts to scale on you, which has always been a true fact. So blue buff will help out, 10%, 15% bonus AP as well, makes it nice.
You can see there's the flat hook, but Ejim is going to miss it. Massive damage comes out as the burst comes in. First blood goes to Lost as Swiper's teleported his way through. Lost is going to fall down. It's a double kill for the Aurelia as Radiant gets off the culling and is going to be safe. Swiffer launches his way into the fight, and Radiant grabs a kill for himself. Swiffer just pulling over Zahi. And now he has to run away behind his mid laner. It is going to be first blood going to Tainted Minds, but Chiefs pick up 3.
And yeah, the teleports were basically quite well timed between the lot of them, except that Swiffer gets there earlier. That's the big determining factor, because he can pop down that ultimate. Predator didn't really get a lot done.
No, and he ghosted straight from the mid lane there as well. Omni still has his. When you're the first one in there, though, it just feels like you don't have as much control of where you go, because Swiffer could probably just catch him off.
Yeah, and the downfall again of not having lane control. Omni, if he's last hitting under the turret, means that Swiffer can immediately rotate. That's where things start to go quite poorly. As I think it was actually blue buff this time around. Either way. Tainted Minds actually lose out on that trade. However, it was close. Too close to actually getting 2 kills for Lost. The Gragas cast from Spooks almost knocked him into it.
Yeah, well, Omni taking a bit of damage here as he throws down the Ghost just to get out of the way of any casks that might be coming in. Zahi pokes his head over the top as well as Spooks at least grabs himself some popcorn chicken, and now going to get knocked up as well. Omni looking for a potential engagement as Spooks doesn't have the flash. Not going to get poisoned for the last one as now Swiffer comes over and says, I just want to transfuse everything.
Yeah, and Omni missed both Qs, so really unfortunate. Would have liked his Ghost, honestly.
Yeah.
But he assumed that Spooks would have had Flash. That's the only thing I could have said for him there. Spooks didn't have Flash, so communication missing from Tainted Minds.
And now Swiffer just having his way here with the mid lane, knows that Omni not going to have that extra maneuverability, but does, of course, have the Flash. Swiffer doesn't find the Crimson Rush.
That sound, by the way, is really infuriating.
Yeah. He's doing it on purpose. I was talking about the new Glad composition.
The Cassiopeia Q. That's
Oh,
the
that one.
poison ticking.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that
Yeah.
sound is? Yeah. I thought it was something Swiffer was doing. Sorry, Swift. Should not have blamed you for that, as Spooks is going to find himself a ward. Tainted Mind's going to back away. Mystic Shot. Going to go wide. I'm going to call it a juke for the Fat Man.
Still, the laning phase is able to be slowed down by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And they come out happy for it because they've got a 2-0-1 Aurelia that's going to spike massively. And whilst we said Praedyth might have a cheaper spike in items, it doesn't really amount to a lot when Swiper's got enough gold to spike at the same time.
Precisely. Those 2 extra kills are easily going to make up for that 9 CS lead that Praedyth does have, and Swiper's presence alone is enough to deter them from taking this Rift Herald, which could have actually been important for Praedyth in order to try and win these 1v1s.
It potentially could have been, but completely lost now. Once again, Swiper just wants to have this straight 1v1. Look for teleport flanks, I think, is the most important thing, and work around the bottom lane.
Yeah.
If Tainted Minds are always going to work around their bottom lane, then the Chiefs can pick and play to exploit that fact. That's exactly what we've seen from them so far to a great degree of success. It hasn't actually reflected through any gold, though.
Well, there's the hook landing onto Omni. Swiffer has a lot of damage. The exhaust comes in as he throws the ultimate the wrong direction. Seen that more than once today.
That hook was unbelievable.
That was ridiculous. Max range, as max as you can possibly get.
Basically accounted for the flash with the direction he threw it as well. So that is a mistake from Omni, but also incredible from Ejim. They set themselves up with a pick in the mid lane. That gold's now going to start stretching. And the pressure on this mid lane turret may not get it down, but it adds up.
Yeah, you can see Tainted Mind's now looking to try and put pressure onto Radier, but it's only a few minions that he's going to miss, and Tainted Mind's not going to be able to get anything done as far as taking this turret down. Zahi, going to find Ejim.
Oh, hey, man.
He was just standing still, so of course you don't have a great field of vision on that champion when you're just cruising around under the ground.
Well, we're seeing what he can see just there, so
Yeah,
not a lot. Yeah. Walks into a bush, finds a thresh, it's just like,
Oh.
so dude.
Oh, hey. Hey.
Walks it out.
Yeah. There's an Equilibrium Strike. Swiper. He's going to be able to get a lot of damage here, though. Didn't get the riposte, on the stun.
The
Are you gonna start
unfortunate
off the
thing
dragon?
is that it doesn't stun. If it's not going to stun, you riposte it. You don't actually have a point in riposting.
Yeah. Oh, this is an Infernal Drake, and Tainted Minds have the best positioning on this possible. Spooks going to make his way over, but not in time. That's a big scaling dragon now that Tainted Minds just pick up for free.
Yeah, they just straight rushed it. They got it down before the Chiefs could react. That's very handy for Tainted Minds to have. And once again, we're seeing a lot of proactive and positive movements from the Chiefs, but it's not setting them up well enough to be considered snowbally by any means. Still doing well here. Team fighting, something that the Tainted Minds team composition will excel at doing. Working around that Cassiopeia, Ezreal, and Karma, and just kiting backwards, letting the Chiefs come to them. It's good, they're designed for it, but it's also a big risk.
It certainly is. Omni, though, will have that Morellonomicon built up relatively soon. The Swiffer keeps clearing out minions. Going to need that. Spirit Visage completed here for Swiffer, and looks like he's going for Abyssal Scepter as item number 2. Sort of double dealing as far as reducing and gaining magic resist. It's going to be very difficult for Omni to stick in a lane with him as well, as Trinity Force is done for Swiper, so that's his first spike hit. But Praedyth does have the Black Cleaver, cheeky little longsword there as well, so not feeling too bad.
Yeah, probably working towards that Tiamat with it. Once again, we look towards the bottom lane, and as far as I am concerned, the Chiefs are still excelling in this, but Omni, yeah, Lost and Rosie starting to show some resilience. They're exploiting the fact that Ejim is very rarely here. Yet, Radair is still well and truly up there in farm.
Yeah. Ghostblade done as well, so he's pretty safe. As there's the hook onto Omni. Another play comes back. This plays him into the body slam. As you can see, Swiper comes down as well. Gets a reset. And the Chiefs easily take down this outer turret.
They can keep going and at least over-push it, maybe like break what could have been a freeze in the middle lane, but they also have Tainted Minds responding. I feel like it was predictable and they should have expected that.
Oh my goodness, Radier just dashing forward. Doesn't get a lot of damage down with that culling, as he may have been a little bit too early. As Ejim comes in, does get a play, but doesn't hit the targets that he wants. True Shot Barrage not going to do too much either. The box doing a whole host of work as Spook's looking to slow down Rosie. Zahi going to fall to Radier as he gets smited, flashes out of the way, but there's Swiffer to pick up all of the kills. The Hemo Plagues there is lost, gets over the top, but Swiffer's going to transfuse him to death, and the Chiefs looking on form in game number 1.
You can only commend the Chiefs' efforts when it comes to playing this game out. Swiffer is basically a teleport mid laner with how often he's grouping up. Swiper was there And that's my first problem with all of this. Why on earth were they looking to dive Radier when the rest of the Chiefs were obviously collapsing? That's a mistake. They did not have Praedyth. He obviously has no mana. We're seeing that right now.
He's looking to try and get that top outer turret and does do so. Pings from the Chiefs towards the top side of the map is now they're going to take down the bottom outer as well. And it looks like all of these outer turrets in pretty quick succession are going to fall in favor of this Chiefs lineup. Spook's now moving towards the Dragon Pit. No Infernal Drake to be seen, but it is going to be the next one, and Chiefs probably looking to grab one for themselves. Zahi has found Spooks. He's got a Runic Echoes, but not a lot of health to his name or defensive statistics.
Yeah, and they're reasonably okay. I mean, it's 3,000 now. The gold's starting to stretch. The Chiefs are starting to scale up quite quickly. Looks like they're actually playing to the strong point. Tainted Minds and exploiting that as a weakness now.
Yeah. Well, you can see Spooks as well. I mean, 008, 100% kill participation. Swiper, 403, only missing out on one. This is a Chiefs roster that has really been fighting as a group this whole game. As Aegium's going to find Praedyth. Radier throws down the Ghost Blade. He has to use the riposte at some point. Actually, a decent outplay there as he moves over the top. But the culling going to come in, and Radier going to get challenged, but not challenged enough.
His health bar actually just got ruined, but he doesn't die, of course. Radier still reasonably happy. They're now getting the turrets. They're accelerating this game. The Chiefs, they've decided that they can lane swap. And that's why they've found themselves a wandering Praedyth through his own tri-bush. Tainted Minds definitely answering. In fact, they're a little bit quicker. They might get more from this than the Chiefs.
A lot of damage to this turret. Exactly right, as Radier will have a lot. Aegium comes over as well, but that inner turret fell very fast. Swiper now trying to defend.
They should actually go mid now, Tainted Minds. That was an even trade, but they got 10 seconds of tempo now in their favor. Unfortunately for them, there is no mid lane turret for them to defend.
And Omni as well in a whole host of trouble as he throws down the Ghost. Has to disappear from the bottom side, and now Chiefs not going to get any damage onto this, Thought that they might. Decide not to. Is now Rosie taking a lot of damage. Swiffer, of course, has the pull, but not going to be able to break the tether with it. However, walking out of range will.
And everything evens out. It was actually just an even trade.
Yeah.
All met in the middle. Played tug of war.
You have to say that probably works out in Tainted Mind's favor here as well, because the Chiefs were the ones with the gold lead prior. 3,000 still where it sits. But Tainted Minds, they're set up. They've got themselves the Infernal Drake.
In a situation where you're losing the game, any even trade is actually still a good trade.
Yeah.
It's the rule of thumb for that losing team because they want to scale up, maybe get some strength. Look for picks or look for late game team fights. Depends what they default towards. Your Tainted Minds right now, you might have your eyes set on that Drake.
Well, it's up in 20 seconds. They do have some wards around the area, but Aegium's now setting up as well. God, that thresh skin is cool looking.
It doesn't actually look like they can get in here. Tainted Minds. It would have been a second Infernal Drake. They would have liked the 16% AD and AP. The Chiefs have complete control of the area. Instead, they just trade objectives knowingly, and they even get a head start on kicking it off.
Man, look at all of the wards for Tainted Minds. They are going to be able to take down this Rift Herald, but they're so deep in the Chiefs side of the map. It's not defensive vision. They're still sort of playing the vision game like they're winning.
This is about to scream. Yeah, saying that we got a Rift Herald that coincides with the Drake. The Chiefs are now moving towards the bottom lane inner turret, and they have a big advantage in timing. The Sliper's already prepped this wave. The question of if they can get in or not is entirely likely, given that Zahi's just decided he's at the enemy side of the map.
Yeah, backing now as well. Void Rush is there, but there is a tunnel actually waiting for him. Not going to be a time as the Chiefs easily pick that one up. Baron is going to spawn right now. Don't know whether anyone's going to go over there as Aegium just clears that one out. Vision goes down over the side there for Tainted Minds. As Chiefs continue to move forward with this 3,000 gold lead.
This game does feel like the Chiefs have found form.
Damn right it does. This is clean play out of this side.
Now, we've never known the Chiefs roster, it doesn't matter who they're playing against, besides that Hellions game, to win extremely quickly. They play the calm macro game, cerebral at best. Spooks is always going to be a counter ganker. Zahi seems to be inclined towards that bottom lane, so that's how the Chiefs have played this one out. They've now set up Radier 3-0-3.
Yeah.
They want him to carry, but thankfully they've also got Swiffer to boot. Because honestly, I would have looked at the 3-0-3 Raider and said there's a chance he makes a mistake here. He hasn't been performing too well.
Well, this is the thing. Although, this game, Tries to defend that outer turret on the bottom side of the map, has his team to back him up, makes the decision on purpose, which is important because sometimes when the Chiefs look like they don't necessarily know exactly what they're doing, can bite them. However, this has been dictated to Tainted Minds the entire time. The Chiefs have known exactly what move to
Teleport
make
in for a big
it.
flank as well.
Yeah, and Swiper looking for it. Miasma comes down.
He's deep.
But oh my goodness, he's very deep. Now he's looking to try and find his way out. There's the hook landing onto Omni, and he's going to be launched over to the side. Petrifying Gaze comes in, but my god, the damage out of this Chiefs roster as Swiffer is ghosting towards them. Flashes on top of Lost as there's the pull, and Radiant a follow-up. More damage comes in as Swiffer doesn't want to stop. I believe he still has that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, but Praedyth now backing. Hook isn't going to land as Spooks has to deal now with a lot of damage coming in, but Praedyth not going to be able to answer for, and the Chiefs pick up another kill.
Praedyth actually killing Spooks means there's no point in them looking at Baron. Instead, they will go towards this mid lane turret. And the Chiefs get a successful team fight on the back of a whole lot of damage coming out of every member. And that's kicked off with Swiper actually being caught out with a deep, deep teleport. And I will just quickly add, I saw that, Spooks. Don't think I didn't see that.
Wait, what was it?
Yeah,
Oh, what was it, Russell?
you'll have to go back and check.
Oh, man. What is this? I didn't know there was homework.
It's due Tuesday. Next week.
Damn
Today's
it.
Tuesday.
I'm awful at homework, Rusty. Why would you proud me like this? But it is exactly right, what I said with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter being completed. This guy is huge. Good old Swiffer on the Vladimir. Building towards what could be a Void Staff as item number 3. Would like to see it. That Void Staff is there, and Spook's continuing to clear things out. The man that did something, not entirely sure what it was, but Rusty saw it.
Yeah, he did. Chiefs still set up massively here with the big gold lead as well. Like, they are well and truly in the driver's seat now.
8,000 gold.
They kick it off, and very much the Chiefs, is that they let Tainted Minds dictate where they want to gank. Chiefs just keep tempo and outplay them in that exact gank when it comes to execution. Now that they've got a lead this big, they can actually start pushing that forward.
Oh, Swiper gets himself riposted as now he's actually just, okay, going to flat out kill Praedyth. He's too far ahead. He's got a Randuin's.
Yep, stood against the wall, just auto-attacked until he was low enough to hit with a Q. Well played by Swiper.
That is a 606 Aurelia there as well. As Rosie's going to get flayed back, just walks his way towards his former teammates. There was nothing he could do.
And this will get kicked off right now. The Chiefs,
Oh,
they can absolutely keep baiting it if they want to. I feel like this time around they could have. Instead, they want to kill more members.
oh, he flashes, gets himself the Equilibrium Strike. There's the Chain CC. Swiper grabs it as Radier over the top. Lost getting culled to death. As Radier takes himself Lantern, Spooks is going to body slam his way over the top. And the Chiefs are going to start off the back.
Yeah, they actually kick it off this time. So third time's the charm. 2 baits, 2 kills, 3 kills. Now they decide to start it. They'll get this completely uncontested. There's no way for them to stop. Tainted Minds as well. Their response is maybe to trade with the mid lane turret. Even that's been stopped by the Chiefs. So every effort that Tainted Minds are making is being answered for. The Chiefs are looking great.
This is a thwarting right now as the Chiefs do lose a red buff. So that is something as far as consolation prize is concerned. But, I mean, if you just look down the board, 706 Aurelia, Swiper is having a redeeming game right now. This is exactly the type of game that Swiper needed to get his confidence back up.
Yeah, Big Swips is out to play this time.
Damn right. The biggest of Swips.
Man's going off. Of course, another Infernal Drake as well, Atlas. So
Yeah.
the Chiefs have coincided that Baron being taken quite well with the neutral objective. Tainted Minds could not sneak that on their way out because that was physically impossible. It's not in the pit yet.
30 seconds until that one's going to be there. And Swiffer's just running around, using his buttons, taking things down, and grabs a whole bunch of health back with that transfuse with Crimson Rush. And Praedyth now understands that he's probably not going to be able to fight Swiper as he just puts his back against the wall. Zahi's here at the same time. Swiper's doing a lot of work as Praedyth does get over to the side, but you can see Swiper's just got so much sustain and Zahi's got no damage.
Swiper can win this still, which is a funny thing to consider. He has no health. Praedyth has teleport, so he's able to maybe come back afterwards, but this is the Chiefs now in complete control, knowing that Zahi was there and that Praedyth was too low to help.
Well, here's my Baron up minion wave I prepared earlier as Rosie, my god, taking so much damage. Raider as well. Lost gets over the top, looking to the outplay, but the culling comes in. Omni gets a nice petrifying gaze, but there's the flash and the hook for the follow-up from Ejim. Zahi will be able to get spooks here. Oh, Willie! Oh, body slam comes out, but it isn't enough as Swiffer's over the top, just kills everyone. Double kill comes in for the Vampire Man as Lost is able to slink away with his life, but this is going to spell the inhibitor. And the Chiefs, they are a joy to watch when they're playing well.
Yeah, Lost barely lives, and that was through Vladimir's ultimate with a Karma Shield on him, and he used that heal. I don't know if Tainted Minds can actually stop this one. It feels like they can for now.
Ejim is extraordinarily low. They don't have spooks. We said that the Chiefs have been playing calculated League of Legends. They are going to continue to do so as they back away.
And you would expect from this point the recall and then the one last push. They could continue to look down that middle lane if they are confident enough, and given the lead they have, they could be. 26 minutes into this game. This is a well-covered victory from the Chiefs.
Damn,
Once they get over the line, Tainted Minds, it feels like they do not have an answer. They let the Vladimir through. They picked Cassiopeia into it. But 0-5, not exactly doing what they wanted with that.
Definitely not. And this isn't all about letting the Vladimir through as well. I mean, I look at that and I think that that is like a huge problem. But you look at the rest of the map, Swiper is dominating on this Aurelia. That first teleport completely set him up to win his matchup and win the rest of the game. Radier and Ejim are playing out of their minds. Ejim especially, like 1-1 and 15. This guy's a beast. He doesn't miss hooks.
A real Thresh player would have 2 kills, not 1. No, he's playing well, Ejim. He's actually hitting all of the hooks up. Being in places before someone walks there to hit them.
Yeah.
An example on Predith.
Oh, come on. Cast a curse. That's upsetting. Looking for someone setting up in the brush.
You have to draw attention to it. I was trying to highlight how good he was playing.
Well, I know, so was I. Happens every time.
This right now, I think Swiffer's actually just going to come up here, and here we go.
Well, Predator does get a really nice riposte onto Swiper, who now is tanking up the turret. But it probably doesn't matter, as the Tides of Blood is doing a bajillion damage. Yes, you can quote me on that. A bajillion damage.
Give or take 1.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, look, it's absurd.
Whoa, there's the flash hook. Lands it onto Lost somehow. As Radier picks it up with the culling. Omni in there as well, but he gets exhausted. Double kill comes down. And Swiper's easily able to lock that one down. Swiffer grabs the kill in the end. And the Chiefs just make it look good on the map right now as they take down the last remaining Nexus turret. And this is going to be game 1 for the Chiefs. And watch out if you're towards the top of the table, because the Chiefs are looking to try and make their way back.
I mean, it's only game 1 in this series, but you can definitely tell that the Chiefs are angry and they've stamped their foot down onto Tainted Minds. Former sister team doesn't matter. Chiefs played to their strengths and made it a weakness and got a very easy game 1 victory.
They most definitely did. The pizzazz is back here for the Chiefs, and we are going to throw it back to the analyst desk to break down their first win in a little while.
Thank you very much, Atlas and Rusty. And they're absolutely right. If there was one thing we could take away from that game, is that Chiefs were really clinical in that victory.
Yeah, that reminded me of when an older brother just sort of smacks a little brother around in any sport ever when you're growing up. I'm a younger brother in this case. I know exactly what that feels like. It is not good.
That was insane. At every point in the game, it felt like they knew what to do. They were hitting them hard. And whenever they knew that they had the vision control, they were just like getting those hooks, going in the like for instance, the flash
the hooks.
stun.
Oh my gosh.
Ah, yeah, I know,
It
right?
was dirty. It was dirty. I would hate to be on the receiving end of that. That was
Exactly.
incredible.
Well, you know, we have a replay to kind of sum up how clinical Chiefs were in that match. We're going to bring up on your screens very quickly. Guys, take it through this, because this is where it looked like it was lights out for Tainted Minds.
Yeah, pretty much. You see that dive mid, and then so like Radier's defending in the under the tower, and they just try to go and dive him. So pretty much all they do is like Chiefs bring in their entire task force to break it up. It was pretty much clean here, and of course Swiffer's in the proper position to get the kill. Honestly, what this is, Tainted Minds shouldn't even have done that, right? They lost a lot mid. At this point, you're gonna have to expect them to come out and like clean you up.
Yeah, and I mean, sure enough, they made the initial mistake. You shouldn't have dived. But even on top of that, when they're cleaning you up, don't burn your flashes, don't burn your summoners, don't dig the hole deeper. Because after that point, I was thinking to myself, there's no way they win this unless there's a monumental mistake from the Chiefs, which they don't typically make.
Yeah.
And there were only a couple of kills from the side of Tainted Minds as well. And one thing we were talking about in the backstage was kind of how even when Chiefs lost objectives, it was a trade with Tainted Minds. They didn't flat out lose anything. They made sure they controlled the map pretty well.
Yeah, like if we were really nitpicking, and I mean really nitpicking, the only bad thing we could say about the Chiefs when they were winning is they traded away Rift Herald for a dragon and a tower. That's still a good trade, but when you're ahead, you shouldn't be trading.
Yeah, honestly, there's a little bit like we're talking about nitpicking, right? Like
Yeah.
the bot lane going Bond of Stone and Warriors.
Oh yeah,
That is like.
I'm not a fan. They played amazingly, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, they played it well, but like especially in the really, really early game when they got that hook, I was like, he'd be dead with one of those aggressive masteries, but whatever.
Well, it's a shellacking of a game 1 coming out from the Chiefs there against Tainted Minds. Don't go anywhere in 3.5. We're back with game number 2.